This is NOScast here, episode
So
6.
6,
So, Itchy, what do you think about games having replay value?
they're better if they do. They're worse if they don't.
Okay, go into more detail than that.
What do you mean? Like, if a
O-
game has replay value, it's a good game. But
Okay, okay,
you can't force it either.
like Division?
Yeah, it sucks. Like, if you just fill it full of trash, it's a trash game. But if you have replay value, as in the mechanics and stuff, and randomness and I don't know, building up and stuff like that, you I don't know, what give me some examples of what you think makes replay value.
Okay, to me, what makes like a replay value in the game is like Halo, Minecraft, Ark, Conan, even though I played it one time, but it does have replay value. Conan, Black Ops 3, World at War, Fortnite, when they just now added like those replay values like shit.
Right.
That's what I call replay value. Games like Division, Destiny, even though Destiny's more campaign based or whatever, but there's a campaign to these replay values with Destiny. Division is just hash and repeat.
Right. Would you consider
You
a
know what
game that has a campaign plus, or like you play the same game again but it's like extra hard? Would you consider that replay value?
Yeah, I
Or
would consider that replay
like
value.
like
I
would you say there's a difference between, let's say, something with limited replay value and unlimited replay value? Like, would you say that
yeah,
there's a fine line? Because you could
there
define
there's
replay
there
value.
yeah, there's a fine line with replay value. Like what I call like limited amount of replay value is the Division. And hold on, the reason why I say that is because it's a hash and repeat replay value.
Like, it's
There's
just
no,
milking the same things over and over
yeah,
again.
it's just milking the same shit. Destiny does the same exact shit though.
Yeah.
Like, but there's more campaign based to it or whatever. I don't like. It's hard to like really explain. Even though I played Destiny 1 and Destiny 2, there is a difference between replay value and milking the replay value and making it more grindy and boring.
Yeah, it's like filling it
You
with
know,
side missions. Like, you only go through so many side missions until you realize all these side missions are the same side missions.
like Ghost Recon Wildlands and
Yeah, yeah,
Breakpoint.
yeah.
They milk the replay value. Now, like Black Ops 3, World at War, Fortnite, you know, Halo, there's no milking. It's
You
you're
call that
getting
unlimited replay value.
I call that unlimited replay value. And the reason why I say that is because one, you're not being replay value by developers. You're getting replay value with people like me, you, whoever making maps and making a replay value.
You make maps?
That's what I was just using that for example, but sure, like we'll go with that. Like on Halo, sometimes I would go and sit there and make a map or whatever, but it's trash and it sucks ass. But you get what I'm saying? Like there's people that that's why Halo is so successful. And Halo, since Halo 1 has been this empire in Halo. Even though Halo's been like kind of like the same game ever since Halo 1 sort of, it has replay value. There's there's shit you can do that other games you can't do. And you can make your own maps. It's not developers. It's
Right, right.
people like me, you, and
Saying
everybody else
community
making
community driven replay value.
yeah, community driven. That's what I like as replay value. Not like Division 2, Destiny. No.
That's all from the developers
That's all
themselves,
from
which
developers.
is inherently limited because they're only going to put so much effort into it.
That's what I'm saying. Now, this is I don't know, but like would you consider doing a battle pass every month or month and a half a replay value scheme?
I would say yes, that is a replay value scheme. Albeit maybe not a very good one, and when it comes to customer satisfaction. because I
Yeah,
feel like it's mostly driven by fear of missing out.
developers. Well, yeah, that too, but developers.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
what I
but the
would
replay
call.
value comes in with like people are scared of missing out of whatever that battle pass is
Yeah,
offering because it's
y-
a time limit usually and it's not forever.
yeah, and you know, like I don't know, Rainbow Six Siege has a replay value, but they do it more in like events types, if that makes sense. Which I would say is limited type replay value,
Right.
where it's an event like Call of Duty does events, which is I would put
Limited.
in a limited
Yeah.
time replay value.
Yeah, and it's a
Now,
replay. You play the same thing because like I'd say simply having stats and stuff like that adds replay value. A game like Call of Duty is inherently replayable, not the campaign per se, but like the multiplayer isn't. A lot of these multiplayer games are inherently replayable because they're stats driven. Like you want to get your stats bigger and you want to get up, you want to have gains, so you replay the game to get those gains. But obviously stuff like battle passes increases the amount of replay value, albeit in a very stressful way. Um,
shitty way.
yeah, like it works. It definitely
I
keeps
would
people playing.
say that's limited replay value.
Yeah, definitely. Like, cause there's
Some
gonna be a certain point you're gonna either get bored of keeping up with the stats. You're gonna be the
Yeah,
highest you can be, and
yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Now, community replay value is on a whole nother level.
right, right. Like you'd say,
Black
like
Ops th- Black Ops 3 is community based replay value.
because of the modded
PC,
maps and stuff.
yeah, PC only though, but that's community based replay value. Replay value. Call of World at War is another replay value by community base. It's on PC though, but it's still a replay value esque thing. It's made by
Right, right.
community. You get what I'm saying? That is the replay value I like. Is where it's community based.
It's unlimited
Like
because anybody can go in
yeah,
and add on
like
to it.
Fortnite. Fortnite did the same exact shit. You don't have to go and play BR.
You can
You can
go
go
do map
play
creation and
yeah, map creation and
custom
stuff
games and stuff like
and
that.
custom games wanna that is replay value. All these like other games is limited time replay value,
Right, right.
which
So like
eventually gets boring.
yeah, because you're doing the same thing, and then eventually something new is going to come out. Whereas a game that allows community-driven development will
Yeah.
allow for an unlimited amount of creation, which is inherently replayable because you're playing the same game, but it's
hmm
new content that isn't
It's new content.
limited by the developer.
The developers it's community based. In Roblox, it's the same exact thing. It's community based, and so is Minecraft. That's why these community based things are so successful.
Definitely.
So successful is because it's made by the community. The community makes the game of what it is, not the developers, the community. And that's what I feel like makes the game shine even more is when you have control over this game. You get what I'm saying? You're not controlled by developers.
Would you say a game like Fallout 4 has in Skyrim has unlimited replay value because of the mod support even on consoles?
Um, is it community based?
The mods are not made by Bethesda.
Okay, but
If you're
but
talking
it's
about console,
PC.
no, it's
Okay,
not
but it's
PC only.
PC.
No, it's on Xbox and PlayStation. But like the
Now,
only
how would you
limitation.
mod? How would you mod on Xbox? Like, how
Have
would
you
you
have you
like
ever
get?
played Fallout 4?
Not exactly. I played Fallout 4. I didn't even touch Fallout 76, but I played Fallout
I've
4, but
never.
I didn't even do no mods or
Yeah,
nothing,
Fallout
whatever.
4 and Skyrim on the Xbox and PlayStation have mod support. Albeit those mods aren't to the same limit as what you can do with PC because the way the mods work is they have to be submitted to Bethesda to get published onto the consoles. So like
Okay.
PC mods, you can of course there's more mods, but there's a still a crazy amount of mods you can get on console.
Okay, so this is what I have to say about that. I would say it's community based to a certain extent. It's
It has
still
to be
limited,
okayed. It has to be okayed.
but yeah, it has to be okayed by Bethesda, which makes it somewhat a limited replay value in some way, shape, or form. It's still community based in a way, but it's still limited. So there's like half and half. I
Right.
would feel like this I to make consoles to the extent of PC, let us mod. Let us do what PC players are
That
allowed to
is
do.
like the reason, like, because the game developers like Bethesda, they were down to let people mod the console games, but
Exactly.
the limitation came from the console developer being like, oh well, if you mod it, we can't be sure that this game is going to be to our standards, which is why they have to do the check. They have to make sure that the mod that's in question is in line with the console developers, meaning Microsoft and Sony.
See, and that's what I'm saying. L- We should be allowed to do whatever the fuck we want. That's as long as you're not playing multiplayer. Fuck it.
As
But
long as you're not playing well, even multiplayer games, because shit, you see GTA 5, even though if you caught modding on an official GTA 5 server on PC,
see,
you're
I
banned
forgot about GTA 5. GTA 5 has replay value by the community
because of the
on
mods,
PC
right?
though.
Yeah,
And because of mods, I forgot about that game. GTA 5's mod community on PC is ginormous. It is astoundingly ginormous. And
right.
that's why GTA 5 is still big to this day, is because of that. When you let the community do what they want, the sky is the limit
Definitely, definitely, because
with
you
with
can literally make
with
the
games.
sky the limit. Like you can I don't know, add a mod. I don't know if I haven't seen this. You can add mods to GTA 5 to add ray tracing. You can add mods to pretty much put the
The
map of
the
like just the San Andreas map in it, and like
Yeah, but
crazy
that's
shit.
what I'm
You can
saying.
add vehicles,
The
add crazy shit.
the mods on GTA 5 is crazy. Like
You can be Iron
you can
Man.
play as Superman in GTA 5. You can play as Superman. Like that's crazy. But it like that's what makes the fun out of the game. When you make the community have it in the palm of their hands, the sky is the limit for that game. The sky
Exactly.
is the limit. You know what I'm saying? That's what I feel like we should be able to do with, Call of Duty, Modern Warfare, Cold War, Destiny, you name it, is to make it where we are able to do whatever we want. Now have your public servers and shit and whatnot. Okay, cool, whatever. But have it where there's a community based community of whatever that we're able to play. Maps, guns, whatever.
I agree. I
You're
completely
able to
agree
do.
with that. But like of course have these modded lobbies not affect the stats, which is the big
Well,
problem. Like Grand Theft Auto, they face that because people, of course, they try to mod money. They do mods that would
yeah.
affect the in-game store, which you know it's kind of about the monetization on their end. Like it's obvious like what they're after. Um,
Well, yeah, I totally agree with that. Like, there has to be a limitation. These companies want to make money. You know what I'm saying? These developers
right.
want to make money.
And I would
So
say stats and
I
keeping
would
that
separate. I would try to separate the modded player base and the other play base.
right, like
You know
no
what I'm saying?
achievements for the mods
No,
and
no
and
achievements. That's what
yeah.
GTA does, and that I think Minecraft does that too in a way or whatever, where
Well, Minecraft
they
only does
give.
it because if you do mod like Java Edition, you can still get the quote unquote achievements, but on Java you get the achievements every time you load up a map. So like it doesn't like it's not the achievements
Yeah, well,
go
that's what I'm saying. Like when
yeah
you go on creative mode, it says all achievements are disabled,
yeah. And
which
if
I'm totally okay with that. It's
Yeah,
whatever. Like,
if you mod Java Edition, it's still if you put a shit ton of mods on it, it's still gonna give you the in-game achievements. But of course, the achievements on the Java Edition are on a map to map basis, so you re-unlock those achievements every time you load up a new world.
well, that's what I'm saying. Like, we're back in. Okay, so we're gonna switch gears. We're gonna talk about E3 now. What are you expecting from E3 this year?
Not a clue. I told you I didn't really have any information about E3 this year.
Well, well, that's what I'm asking. Like, what would you want to see at E3 then?
Some games. I want to see some good,
Well,
some good
like,
games.
do you want to see like I don't know, shit, the new Battlefield, the new
Shit, I
Call
want to
of
see
Duty,
Minecraft too.
Minecraft VR coming on Oculus Quest? Like, shit, I
I
would
don't know.
totally buy that.
That would be pretty cool to see, cause like I've played Minecraft on VR, both
Hmm.
the Bedrock and the Java edition. Of course, I would imagine it'd be Bedrock edition coming to the Oculus Quest. That would be a cool addition.
I would totally get that. The VR on Oculus, I would totally get that on Minecraft. Totally get that. I think that would be amazing. That would be on like a new load of Minecraft, of replay value with Minecraft. That you're able to
Right.
play that in VR. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, it'd be
That would
hella
be
fun.
that would be crazy. So I'm expecting Xbox to go huge this year.
What do you
Since
expect
they
Xbox to do?
Well, one, I feel like since they just confirmed Bethesda, all right, they just confirmed Bethesda and shit. I don't think they bought any new companies after that, right? I don't think they bought anyone new. I don't think. Do you know if they bought anyone after Bethesda? I don't think they did. I don't think they did. So, um anyway, I feel like since they just bought Bethesda and literally like I feel like Xbox is just gonna go big this year. I feel like Xbox is gonna hit everything out of the park. You know, I feel like just gonna put a nuke on everybody.
Do you think Sony's gonna show up?
I feel like they have to show up this year. They've been out for the past what 2 years. I know now. I think 2 years, whatever. I feel like Sony has to show up this year to E3 and try to show off their new shit this year. Even though PlayStation's hitting out the park, they're selling in consoles and shit. I feel like Xbox always has this edge over PlayStation every E3
Hmm.
because they're not showing up.
Do you
Even though they're
think-
selling PlayStations.
Right. Do you think the chip shortage is gonna pop up in the conversation during this E3?
Chip, um, I feel like they should bring it up. I feel like they should like bring up chip shortage. I feel like they should bring up a lot of stuff and whatnot. Like if it's still gonna be slow with consoles coming out, or if they're gonna start bringing consoles out even more. And let's say
Well, I'm seeing
Xbox is,
that things won't go back to normal when it comes to chips until at least 2022.
which
And
I'm
that's
okay
not
with.
that's not just with consoles, that's with everything.
Yeah, I know. I'm okay with that. Just okay with that. I just want a new Series X. I have the money to get one, but I just want a new one. And I can get one right now. It's just they don't sell them in stores and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I would have had a new Series X right now if they sold them in stores. But every time I go online, it's sold out. Fucking blink of an eye, everything's sold out.
Right. Everybody's
You know what I'm saying? Everybody's after it. So I feel like Xbox and PlayStation have to do something big to to be like, we're sorry. Here, enjoy this until like we can bring out new consoles or something. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
You think
Something.
they're gonna do an apology for the shortage?
Well, I feel like they would or should. I feel like they should do an apology and whatever. I feel like PlayStation, Xbox gotta do something big for the shortage of consoles. I don't know. PS Plus, if PS Plus and Gold gets rid of and they're free. I don't know if they really would do that, but shit. I
Yeah,
feel
I've
like that
been
would be
hearing
a
something
big.
about the Game Pass replacing Xbox Live here soon. The Game Pass.
That would be. I would get Game Pass if they do that.
Shit, it
I
would.
would.
It would
I
be.
would get Game Pass. It
I'm
would
also
be
hearing something
game.
about me as a PC player. Pretty happy about this. I'm also hearing something about Sony, doing not crossplay, but releasing their games, their first party games on PC, just like Xbox releases their first party games on PC. So pretty
I
much,
also heard that PlayStation doesn't want to do crossplay anymore.
yeah, no, they're dumb. They're gonna like lose a
I
lot. Like,
feel like that's such a stupid test. Like, I get PlayStation's the big dogs, but it's like,
they're not that
why?
big.
Well, I know, but I'm saying like, why? See, it comes around in a full circle. PlayStation was at the not total bottom, but PlayStation was at the bottom, and Xbox was on top. And Xbox was stingy, you know, very doesn't know what their community wants. And now since Xbox is at the bottom, they're trying to get to the top again, and they're trying to be very, you know, community friendly with Nintendo or whatever, which I feel like is, you know,
Right, right.
Props. You know what I'm saying? Okay, good. PlayStation's being like Xbox was. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's gonna kick them in the ass. I feel like PlayStation's gonna get kicked in the balls.
Yeah, I feel like
One-
if they're cocky enough to get rid of crossplay, like I think
They're gonna
the PlayStation player base probably won't notice at first, but they'll notice the age of games sooner than Xbox and PC
Well,
players.
of course, because like, why get rid of crossplay? What's the point in it?
Because apparently it's not selling them enough consoles. They want
Well,
everybody
yeah, I
else.
get that. They want everyone to have PlayStation. I feel like that's dumb as shit.
But I
Don't
actually
get me
heard
wrong.
about
I would get a
the adding of PC to the first party list, like all the first party
Yeah,
Sony
that-
games.
that's
I heard
cool.
about that after the fact. So I don't know if they're ditching that idea because what I heard was that they're seeing that that's a good idea for the long run because they can sell first party
Well-
games through their platform on PC and still get
Yeah.
all the cut they were getting on
Yeah,
directly off
which-
of PlayStation.
That's cool also. Like, that's cool as fuck also. But it's like, Xbox is thinking about streaming. They're trying to do what Google did with Stadia,
Yeah, they've been doing that, and Sony's already did that.
but they did it terrible.
Yeah, it
And
wasn't very good, and it was done early. And Xbox has been talking about doing that for a long time.
I know, and that's what I'm saying. Xbox is gonna hit the next 2-3 years out of the park. I feel like the next 3 years, Xbox is gonna fucking just what up.
Shit, they
Type
just need
shit.
to add VR to it. Like, dude, I would if they would add
VR would be fucking incredible. VR would be
shit.
awesome.
Like if
Eve-
you
I
could,
already
if
have
you could plug
Oculus
your
VR,
Oculus
so-
into it, if you could plug your Oculus, because I would rather them, because Microsoft already has a bunch of VR headsets. So what I would imagine they would do is do a thing that would be like, well, they would just add a plug-in to it that would allow for a VR headset that would work on PC to be able to plug into an Xbox. Like,
And that would be awesome. Like, I want to play Squadrons in VR.
and that Squadrons
That
is a
would-
really fun game in VR.
That would be incredible to play Squadrons in VR. That would be incredible. I would love Squadrons even more if I was able to play in VR. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I feel
right.
like VR is the new wave.
Oh, and it's
VR is going to go over the
Microsoft
game.
is not seeing it. Like they're not seeing it. Like a lot of
But-
people, like it's still a lot of people are not seeing it because I've met personally like people who are not like they're like, oh no, VR that's a long way off, but they've never even put on a headset. They've never even,
VR, even though graphics don't look up to par,
it's
it
like
does-
2K,
it doesn't even-
4K, like yeah,
it
it's-
doesn't even matter. Like, it's VR. You're able to use your hands in a
Right,
video
right.
game,
right
even though it's
full motion.
some games it's not full motion,
Yeah,
but like, you're using a controller, but you're able to use your hands in a video game. Like, that's never been done before.
right.
And imagine playing Call of Duty in VR.
Shit,
Call of Duty
you know,
in
you
VR.
play Contractors, like you kind of
Yeah,
get the idea.
Contractors is crazy.
Right.
Contractors is crazy. I love Contractors. But that's what I'm saying. Like, playing, like, Contractors is basically like a Call of Duty-esque type shit.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And, like, Contractors hits Call of Duty out of the water.
Shit, I would say
Even though
because it's
what?
VR. Because it's VR.
Because it's VR.
Yeah.
Even though graphics aren't up to par, you know what I'm saying? Even though it's like 2K or 4K graphics or whatever,
And the
it looks
textures are
like.
actually even lower. The reason it looks even worse is because of the textures. Texturing is not up to par to those graphics. The
But
lighting
that's what
isn't
I'm
up to par.
saying. Like, but that's what I'm saying. Like, Nintendo's graphics aren't up to par and it's doing successful.
Yeah, and
It's
it
not even
doesn't. Graphics
about.
don't even mean that much. Like at the end of the
But that's what I'm
day,
saying. Graphics don't matter. It's gameplay.
right?
You know what I'm saying? Gameplay, and you're able to use your hands and able to control a gun with your hand, like do all that stuff and whatnot. That's crazy to me.
Right.
That's insane. Like you know what I'm saying? VR has come a long way, and I feel like VR is gonna get, but in the next maybe by 2025,
Well, we already got
VR is
we
gonna
already
be.
got in VR. Not saying I have it, but like VR already has. There's already haptic suits. There's already treadmills. Like you can already have almost the full fledged Ready Player One experience if you had enough money.
Yeah, but it's fucking expensive as
Yeah.
shit. You know what I'm saying? It's expensive as shit. I might as well just get an Xbox and call it, or PlayStation or PC and call it a day. You
Shit,
know
if
what I'm
they had
saying?
all the games in VR, you probably
But that's the same shit with 4K and 8K. When 4K and 8K came out, they were expensive as fuck. You have to
right,
let it have time to come down, and once it come down, then it's gonna shoot up like a rocket.
right.
The
Well, I'm
same
also
shit with
seeing
4K.
with the chip shortage, TV prices are going up too because they're all the companies are fighting for the same chips. Chip prices are going up everywhere. So all the prices, cars are getting more expensive because of the chip prices. Cars are there's low like everything because of the chip prices is dropping out. Like they're getting more expensive or they're not producing as much.
And that's one. And like VR, I want VR to shoot up like a rocket.
And it's
I
been
want
shooting up.
Xbox
It's
to have,
just
like PlayStation has VR.
yeah, and
You know
that's
what I'm
actually
saying?
PlayStation has the number one VR. Like the majority of VR players, like that play VR is actually on PlayStation. Uh,
Really?
yeah,
I would totally play on an Oculus VR is insane.
it is. It is. Oculus is not definitely not the best VR. Like if you want to go
No,
like shit,
hell no,
there's
it's
some
not.
things like it depends on what you're asking for with the best because there's VR headsets that have like the best resolution, but then there's like let's say my headset, which is the Oculus Quest 1, has about a similar
Yeah,
resolution to
to mine.
no, yours has a better resolution than mine.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
but I can't think of the name of it. It's the one that Steam released. Their headset. It has a similar resolution to that, but their controllers are way better. They have like the controller individually has finger tracking, so like you can lift up individual fingers.
Oh,
But we also on the Oculus side, on the Quest side, we have hand tracking, so we can like we don't even have to hold the controllers, and we can just
yeah,
use
but
our
that's
hands.
only in the main menu though.
It depends on the game because I have the
Yeah,
developer
that's true
license on
also.
mine, and I also I can download a bunch of games that are like hand tracking only, and there's also some games that are now officially released that use hand tracking as well. Not that many.
I haven't played a game that has hand tracking yet.
It's pretty all
So,
right.
but
It's glitchy
but
when last time I used it though.
but like doing hand tracking in the main menu in Oculus is fucking crazy because you get to like move around your fingers and stuff and whatnot,
Oh
like
yeah,
flip
yeah.
yourself off and shit. That shit's fucking crazy. Like you know what I'm saying? Like the rec room is fucking insane. I love the rec room.
You love the Rec Room?
You know the rec or no, not the rec room, the VR chat. My bad, not the
VR
rec
check
room.
because
Rec room is
yeah, you don't like Rec
fucking.
Room last I checked.
No, because it gives me headaches, bro. Like it gives me fucking headaches. I don't get headaches at all really no more. So I haven't really tried the rec room yet. But like I just know when I did do the like it fucking like it was like I had a hangover.
I know you had
It
motion
was
sickness pretty
crazy.
bad. I feel like one thing that'll make VR better is a rise in frame rates on it. Because I know like when you're not playing VR, it's like a lot of times like a couple of years back, people were like, well, why do I need 60 FPS? And then now they're like, why do I need 120 FPS? Why do I need 110 FPS? Like, but then when you play VR, like it's like, oh no, you need 90 FPS, which is what you
You
have.
need that high
Yeah, you're
FPS.
playing your headset. I don't know if you're running at 90 FPS, but your headset can run 90 FPS. Mine runs like I think 75 as the max. So your headset has
I
a
have
higher
to go
frame
into the settings, I
to
think.
turn.
I
Yeah,
haven't
your
really
might
went into the
yours might be
settings.
default running at 75, because but like the Oculus Quest 2 obviously has a 90 refresh rate, and that's the default for most PC headsets is a 90 refresh rate. But there's also headsets
Have
like
you?
huh?
I was gonna say, have you seen racing games in VR?
Oh yeah, I've played
Like
some racing
Project
games.
Cars and a set
Yeah,
of
yeah.
course and
My
shit, bro. That
my
shit's
brother
fucking
has that.
insane.
It is crazy, especially when you're using a
It's
wheel setup and stuff.
fucking
It would be
crazy,
even
bro.
better
Like
if they could make it to where the hand tracking on the
hand
Quest,
tracking.
and then
Oh
you can
my
like have the headset
god.
look at the steering wheel. Like if you can put some markers on the steering wheel to where like you can see your real steering wheel right in front of you, and like you know where the
Uh-huh.
steering wheel is. Because one thing is like with the that game, and if you were to use a steering wheel, you don't see your hands moving in it. So you have to actually like go to grab the steering wheel, and of course it just shows it holding the steering wheel the whole time. So if you're facing the wrong way, it's not looking right. But if as long as
It
you're
was,
holding
yeah,
onto the
that's what I'm
steering wheel, as
saying.
long as you're holding onto the steering wheel, it'll look fine, and you won't notice that like it's not matching
But
up
that's what I'm
exactly.
saying. But you get to move around your head and stuff.
Yeah,
Like it's
yeah,
fucking crazy. Like I've seen iRacing when I do VR. That shit's crazy. Like that's why I'm like VR makes me so happy.
right.
VR makes me so happy for video games because it's like the shit you're able to do is like real life. You know what I'm saying?
But it's
Real life shit.
more than real life. I don't want to say
But
better than real life. It's more. You can do more
it's
than a lot than you can do with real life.
but that's what I'm saying. Like in regular racing games, you're not able to move your head. You're not. It's just you're. It's kind of it's a video
And
game.
if you
But in
can, it's a disadvantage because you have to like
yeah, and Forza 4 they did something like that where like, you can use the Connect to move your head, like head tracking or
yeah,
whatever.
you lean
It
over
was
and stuff
really
like that. Yeah.
yeah, it was really weird. It was awful. But when you see an actual VR and you do it, it's like you're moving your head and you can see like above like the steering wheel, you can see above like the shit that hovers your head over so you can't move it. Like you
Right.
can see like it's fucking crazy. Like it's fucking insane.
It
Like
is. It is.
VR is fucking like it's the best investment I ever put into. $300.
Dude, I
Three
had to
thirty
talk
or
you
whatever.
into it
Best
so much to
best
get me into it.
investment. Best investment. The best fit investment I ever did was buying VR.
And
Like I know
all you
Series
play is
X.
poker. So,
I know, like that's all I play is poker. Like, I'm trying because the band behind it sucks. I have to get a better like band
yeah.
to like because like when I'm playing contractors, you're using your body and stuff like, and start to get sweaty and shit.
Right.
It's I don't know it's very hard to play contractors in VR for me.
You just gotta get
So
used
like,
to it.
well, no, it's not even that. Like when I put the VR head, like sometimes it's like leaning down, so
Yeah.
it's like my hair, like I get sweaty, and then sweaty starts getting on the lens and whatnot. It starts to get blurry and shit. It's like, oh fuck all that, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? But playing like just chilling in contractors and just moving your gun around, like it's fucking like crazy.
Right.
It's fucking insane. Like you get to take the mag out manually and shit.
Shit.
Sometimes
I
well,
gotta
it
get you
depends on the
into.
gun.
I need to get you into a game called not Pavlov because Pavlov is not on the Oculus store, but it's another one called Onward. It's a more
Yeah, I want to
realistic
try
shooter game,
Onward.
and I feel like it's slower paced than Contractors because Contractors is smaller maps, more like Call of Duty. Like Onward, I wouldn't want to say it's more like Battlefield, but like it's like Battlefield like size maps because how big they are, but it's a way more realistic game than Contractors.
Yeah, it's there's a CDL ship, not CDL, but there's esports for it too, right?
Yeah.
For Onward. That's what I'm saying. Like, and like that's what I'm saying. Like, even there's esports in VR.
Right. Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's great. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm betting 2025.
2000. What about
That's what
2025?
I'm betting 2025 is when VR officially like explodes into oblivion.
I feel like once Xbox puts it on their platform, it will probably blow up because it's already on Sony, and I feel like if Xbox
Yeah,
adds
that's
it,
what, but
I
it
feel
didn't,
like
but it
Xbox
didn't even
and
blow up
PlayStation.
like that on Sony. I don't even
It,
think it
it,
blew up. It did blow up, but it didn't like. People said it sucked.
It's because
on PlayStation.
the way they do it isn't as good. You need to have a better setup than the default setup. A lot of people think it sucks because all they have is one tracker. You can set up more than one tracker. If you only have one tracker,
Yeah.
you can only face one direction. You can't turn all the way around.
Yeah.
Because my brother has
See,
has
the
a
Oculus, you're
regular
able to
Oculus.
turn all the way around.
Yeah, like I have a Quest. My one of my brothers has a Quest 2. I haven't even touched it, so I haven't even worn a Quest 2. I don't even. I have the Quest 1, and then my other brother has a Oculus Rift, which is the PC only one, and he only has
Yeah.
2 sensors on it, so he doesn't have full tracking, because the original Rift doesn't have the cameras on it. So he doesn't have full tracking to be able to like turn all the way around and stuff like that. So all he has is like, he only has a limited amount of view, and if he goes certain areas, he has dead zones and stuff. The Quest doesn't nearly have as much dead zones, and the Quest 2 has even less dead zones than the Quest 1. And you don't even need to have trackers with those. Like, it's inside out, whereas the regular
I don't even
headsets.
see dead zones in Oculus Quest 2. The only time I see dead zones when I'm going out of the area of like my little circle or whatever.
Well, that's not what I mean. Like, I'm talking about like with tracking and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, like I don't even see any dead zones.
Like the only
with
time
that.
I ever
Like,
notice it is if I bring the controller way up close to my head, or like if the controller goes behind my head. Because if you have a good setup with a PC VR where you have a lot of sensors, you'll never have any dead zones. You can put your hands behind your back and it'll still be tracking your hands. But with a Quest and stuff, putting your hands behind your back, the headset eventually forgets where your hands are. It's like I have no clue where your hands are at, so it's gonna just be like, it's dumb.
Now, is there a way to make it like? Is there a way to make it where a headset has full on like tracking no matter what?
Well, it's a little bit easier with PC headsets because of the trackers, because of the
well, that's what I'm saying, the
sensors that they have. If you just have if you have enough sensors, it'll have full on tracking. And of course we're Xbox. I'm mostly a PC player now, but we were Xbox players, and I have Kinect. So if I hooked up my Oculus to the PC and added some mods onto the PC to allow me to do full body tracking with the headset, I can do full body tracking to where I can like literally like when I bend down, it'll bend down exactly how I'm bending down and stuff like that, with like my knees bending the same way.
That's crazy.
I could kick my leg up. I would be able to
fuck-
leg tracking with the Kinect and stuff like that.
That's fucking insane. Like, you don't do that. That's fucking insane. That's crazy. Like, I want Ready Player One to be real.
Shit, if it can, because you definitely, the technology's there for it. Like not the same extent to where like a bullet feels like
I
a
was
real
gonna
bullet,
say,
you get a little like you can feel vibrations on where you're getting shot. Like if you're wearing haptic suits.
There's a thing called Earth 2. I don't know if you ever heard about it.
I think
Called
I've heard.
Earth
I
2.
don't know much about it, but I think.
And it's about buying
Oh yeah. I've heard about
you're
it.
buying it's not tickets, it's what's the shit that's like in kitchens and whatnot, on the floor or whatnot, tiles. You're buying tiles. Or like
Yeah,
these
you're
tiles or whatever.
buying virtual land.
Yeah, you're buying virtual land, and I guess
People
this
make real
Earth
money
2,
on it and shit.
yeah, something like that. But I guess like Earth 2 is supposed to be like this big, amazing thing that they're trying to do like Ready Player One type shit or whatever the fuck with this Earth 2 shit.
Right.
Like it's
Economies and shit like that.
and like yeah, it's fucking insane. Like, and it's already like. An economy's already building, like you already seen like, and it tells you what countries, so like America, Mexico, India, Australia, whatever, what tiles have been bought and what tiles are free still, and like I guess there's like over like 300,000 people so far that have bought tiles and shit that invested money
Is there
into
this
like this
VR?
Earth.
I don't think it's
Yeah,
VR.
well
Is
they
it?
said Ready Player One, so I'm guessing like VR type shit. They say it's supposed to be like Ready Player One.
Well, is it
Where,
like Ready
like-
Player One to where like the virtual world's like real life, or like
Something like that. They're using like Google Maps or whatever, but it's like Earth 2, and they're using like real life like shit. And they're building a world off of this real life. I don't know, like Tesla can buy an investment and do a stream on Earth too, and you can watch it in the world type shit. It's fucking like
Yeah, it's not.
weird, crazy.
Is it? Here's a video game that
It's
will
like,
use. Okay, it's not in VR yet. I don't think.
but when they said Ready Player One, I'm thinking like they're gonna do it in like some VR type shit.
Yeah, I'm just reading here is that will use the power of AR and VR to allow players to roam freely around the virtual planet. So like it's still in
Yeah.
development, and obviously being used right now because I went to the website and I'm seeing live feed update of the prices and stuff. Like Germany
Yeah, that
is up
yeah.
like 10,000%.
You see what I'm saying? Like people and like suppose this thing is gonna blow up. It's gonna be fucking huge.
It's right now people are using it like an investment, like like cryptocurrencies.
Well, yeah, yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's gonna start as that, but the developers that are doing this are like trying to make like Ready Player One
Right.
and shit, where like Tesla can make an investment into a stream on Earth too, and it's like you are inside the game. You can watch inside the game, but you're like watching a stream or whatever of like Tesla showing the newest car or whatever the fuck. You know what I'm saying?
And apparently
Which
you
I
buy
feel like
stuff
that
with
sound.
PayPal on Earth too.
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. That sounds fucking insane.
Holy
That sounds
shit.
crazy.
So United States is
That's
up 58,000%.
uh-huh. That's what I'm saying. It's fucking crazy. But I don't know if you heard about this YouTuber Big Fry. I don't know if you heard about him. He's a YouTuber that talks about like video games and he's very blunt about shit.
No,
He
I
actually
don't. I
did a
don't know who
video
that
about
is.
Earth 2. He thinks it's gonna be a scam.
It. I
That
don't
this
know.
shit.
There's nothing showing about it. I'm not seeing any real map. Like it literally just looks like a place where people are buying and selling. Okay, so I'm seeing a real map. It's a satellite image. So right
Yeah.
now, yeah.
But do you see like where it shows like Mexico, Germany, America, like
Yeah,
what
yeah,
tiles have been bought?
I went to the previous page is showing tiles. Yeah, I can see the tiles of each area. I can see the feed on the average price on an area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. But they're planning on putting that into like a VR a VR-esque shit
Yeah, and that's gonna be
and
a lot of
whatnot.
work to do something like that
And
because
and like and he did a video with this dude that like was basically calling out like you can't call it a scam or whatever. And basically what this dude said is you that he how do I put this? Like he studied this Earth 2 shit and basically said like the people that are running it are capable of doing this because of their credentials or whatever. And these people are saying like no one has credentials to make something like Ready Player One because it's never been done before. Just because you have credentials to make a video game doesn't mean you have
you've
credentials.
seen Microsoft Flight Simulator, the new one, right?
Yes,
So
that shit's
they
fucking insane also.
they have the whole world in there. And I'm looking at
Yeah.
the map. I'm looking at the map on Earth 2 and I'm looking at the 3D map. So everything's looking really flat. So for them to make it in VR, like for them to make this any substance where people can actually go and explore it, cuz right now all it is just a map of the world pretty much and put into little tiles like you said
Yeah.
where people
Mhm.
can buy and sell these tiles.
Mhm.
I don't see it as being quite like I don't know what the whole like is there any fees like on trading? If there's a fee on trading, obviously the developers are making money. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying they're gonna have to literally find a way because I'm looking at the map. Even on the 3D map, everything's really flat. So it's not like you can really go into VR and walk around in it. So they're gonna have to do quite a
Well,
bit of work to even get it.
well, that's what people were saying. Like, no one has the credentials to make something like Ready Player One because it's never been done before. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
never been done.
Like we've seen the what Microsoft
Flight Simulator.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
that
that's
map
the only thing that
is
that's been possible to do it. But it's graphically like put down it's graphically beautiful, but it's like, when you get close to an object, it's very pixelated. I
Right, and
guess I can put it as
I'd say Flight
because like
Simulator looks
when
better than
you
this.
that's what I'm saying. Like when you were by like when you did Flight Simulator, when like where my house was at one night, and you went like towards the ground, it was very pixelated. Like it hasn't been all of it hasn't been developed or whatever. And that's what I'm saying. Like Flight Simulator is cool, and I bet you in VR is even better. And you wanna, but it has its fault also. You
Right,
know what I'm
and
saying?
pretty much what I'm seeing is they're gonna have to hand model all this stuff or find an AI that's gonna be able to inference it, which is a lot of work. Obviously,
Going,
Flight Simulator has issues with it because they're
yeah,
mostly it's AI and 3D mapping that they already have, like from going around it, and not obviously not everything is perfectly 3D mapped. Um,
yeah. Which it came out like what last year? What's it called?
yeah, I'm pretty
Didn't it
sure
come out like
Flight.
last year or whatever? So it's like it's still not up to par yet. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It's still, you know, but it looks fucking glorious. Like Flight Simulator looks fucking crazy. But you can go to Egypt and go to the pyramids and just look at that shit and be like, oh my god, like, you know what I'm saying? That shit's fucking crazy. It's like fucking insane or whatever. That who's the developers of Flight Simulator?
one of the Microsoft teams. I
And
don't
they're
know.
using they're using Google Maps.
No, they're using Bing Maps.
Oh, they're using Beam Maps.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like I don't know. Isn't Flight Simulator is like continuously being updated though? It's not like they
Yeah.
just not updating it. It's
Yeah. It's
like until they turn off the servers, that thing's continuously being updated, right?
oh yeah, it's continuous and it's getting live updates from like actual air feeds and
Yeah,
stuff like that.
that's what I'm saying. Like it's crazy like how you were able to fly anywhere around the world. But see, the only reason why that's possible is because the whole world isn't put on the game. It's in sections or whatever, right?
No, you it depends. If you're offline, it's in sections. But if you're online, you can fly around the whole world.
Really? So
Yeah.
you can go from Egypt and fly to America, which will
Yeah.
take what, like 3 hours to do or some shit?
It would take you however long it takes in real life to fly that specific plane you're flying to fly from Egypt to your house.
So it's like what, like 12? That's like what a 12-hour flight or something. That oh my God, that's
Yeah, it
insane.
would take you the real life amount of time
See,
to
and
do that
that's
stuff.
but that's what I'm saying. Technology now is letting you able to do that.
Yeah.
But it's still not up to par though. And I feel like technology now is not up to par to make a Ready Player One type game yet.
Yeah, you're not gonna be able to really feel the wind and stuff like we're a little bit like actually if you had a really high tech room and you could have a game that's giving you wind feedback, then yeah, maybe like you'd have a room that's blowing fan air at you and you feel the wind blowing on your face and shit like that. Like that it'd be really
See,
expensive and
that's
because
bullshit.
because
But
even not all games have the ability like if let's say I had a treadmill for VR, not all games would work
Mhm.
with the treadmill. Even a game
No.
that would make sense with it, it would not work with the treadmill. Only games that have
Yeah,
the
because
code in it for treadmills would work with it. And not all games would work with
yeah,
haptic feedback either.
that's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Like all games don't have that feedback yet or whatever.
One thing I am
So
hearing
that
about the next Sony VR headset is that they're putting haptic feedback into. I don't know if it's in the controllers or in the headset itself, but I'm hearing they're adding haptic feedback to. If it's in the controllers, it's pretty much going up
I
to the
feel
same par as a Oculus. But if it's in the headset, that's like crazy. Like you get haptic feedback. Like if you get shot
I
in the
feel
head, you get
like
a buzz in your head.
I feel like if Xbox makes VR, will kick PlayStation's ass.
I feel
VR
like
out
what
the water.
Xbox would do is just allow their headsets they already have made put on there. I think they would allow for third
But
party
but
headsets.
that's what I'm saying. If they allow third-party headsets and their own headsets, but third-party like Oculus and whatever,
Right.
it would PlayStation VR would be kicked out the water.
You
It
really
would be
think so?
kicked to the curb. I feel like it's so. I feel like Xbox will kick PlayStation's ass at that point.
Just because of the barrier to entry, because some of Microsoft's headsets they have are pretty cheap. Obviously,
Well,
they're
yeah,
not the best headsets, but
but that's what I'm saying. But if you're able to use third-party shit like Oculus Quest and whatever the fuck, you're more, you're thinking about the community instead of I want the most money as possible.
right, right.
You know what I'm saying? Like that chip you have to get for 1 terabyte to use another SSD on the Series X. Like that's bullshit to me. But
Well, that's
that's
partially because of how much it costs for that chip to begin with.
I know that that's what I'm saying. Like they want to make their money back, and that's cool. Like whatever. Like your business, you gotta make your money back somehow. But to balance that out, if they put VR in and you're able to use the Oculus Quest 2 like I have or whatever third party VR shit, I feel like that will boost Xbox popularity.
Of course it would.
And it will kick PlayStation's ass.
See, I can't
Even
be too
though
sure with that. At the end of the day, like I can't be too sure
because
with
in
that.
PlayStation you're only able to use the PlayStation's VR.
Yeah,
On PlayStation. But on Xbox, if you're able to use Microsoft VR and third party VR,
which that
people
all
would be
that's
like,
gonna do is just muddy the water. I feel that that's good. A lot of people that would lower the barrier to entry, so more people would be able to get into VR. But some of the Microsoft VR headsets, trash. There's a lot of them. Don't like get me wrong. There's a lot of them,
there's a lot of them.
but a lot of them are also trash. Like literally, like they have a lot of headsets, but a lot of their headsets are trash.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like Xbox would put a nuke on PlayStation's ass if they did that. That's what I feel like. I
They
feel
might.
even though PlayStation, I would love to get PlayStation 5 or PlayStation 4, whatever, play God of War and Spider-Man and all those
Shit,
other
I'd
PlayStation
say at this
exclusives
point
and
just
one.
get a PC. They're gonna be selling it on PC here soon. All those games.
True.
So pretty much
But
like I don't need
like
a console at all.
well, totally bummed. Like, remember? I don't know if you remember, but you remember the game Killzone or whatever the fuck?
Yeah,
I played that game on Killzone 3 actually when it came out on PS4, but I only played it like one time.
right.
Killzone is a PlayStation exclusive.
Yeah,
It's not an Xbox exclusive.
right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I would love for them to make Mag or whatever, or Meg or whatever. You know what Mag? Remember Mag
Yeah.
on PlayStation? That was like what a 200 plus player game or whatever.
I think
That and that was on PlayStation 3. That
Yeah.
was on an X. That was on the PS3. Shitty hardware PS3.
So. Oh
You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? They should make another Mag. I'll be totally on to get a PlayStation if they make another Mag. But I'll have to pay for PlayStation Plus, which I don't want to buy. So fuck. But that's the only thing stopping me from getting a PlayStation because I have to pay for PS Plus. I would have had a PS4
If you didn't have to
or
pay for
PS4
PS
Pro,
Plus.
whatever. If I didn't
Yeah.
have to pay for PS Plus,
Shit,
you know
if
what I'm
they,
saying?
if they never would have done that, I don't know. I probably would have still moved over to PC because I went to school for computer science and all that, and
Well,
PC is
yeah,
part
but
of that whole thing.
I would be more into getting a PS4 or a PlayStation if they didn't have PS Plus.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I would, even though all my friends in real life, even though I consider you as a friend in real life, friends in real life have PlayStation. I went over to Xbox and played with my friend Dur and Marcus, all them motherfuckers and shit.
Right. Right.
I picked them over my real friends in high school,
Right.
which they were salty about that.
Because you're always playing with them and not with them.
Well, like they're like, all your friends have PlayStation. Like, why would you go over to Xbox? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Even though I didn't tell them, I'm picking my friends over Xbox over you. I didn't tell them that, but like, I told them like I'm gonna go to Xbox because all my shit's on Xbox even though I have friends on PlayStation.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I went over to Xbox, and that was I feel like that was more better investment, even though I have friends on PlayStation
You think
and
the
whatnot.
Xbox was a better investment?
I feel like the Xbox was a better investment because one, all my fucking data was on Xbox.
Right. That's the same reason
All
why. Like I have an Android for development, but my primary phone is an iPhone
is
because
iPhone.
I bought
Yeah,
music
and
on the App
that's why I
Store.
haven't went
Yeah.
to Android yet. Is because I'm iPhone. All my shit's on iPhone. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It, it's gonna be hard moving to Android if I ever did, even though I'm not going to. But like I have Apple AirPods, I have a phone. I don't
Which
have the watch yet, but
you can use AirPods on Android.
I get that. But I'm saying like everything's connected together.
I'm pretty
You know
sure
what I'm
you can
saying?
also use Apple Music on Android. You just can't if you pay just the apps on the App Store, pretty much.
Yeah. See, what I like about Android is that you can mod Android.
Yeah, and that's
You
one
can mod it.
thing that I'm
That's the
like.
one thing that iPhone lacks is that you're able to mod on Android.
Yeah, but one thing that iPhone has that Android doesn't is a better security system than Android. And I'm not saying their
That
security
that
system is perfect, but iPhone security, that's the one
that
big
too.
thing, is the security system.
That's too also like going on porn sites and stuff you can get hacked really easy on Android. But on iPhone, you're not secured, but
You're more
you're in
you're more
you
protected
feel comfortable.
from third parties. Except
Yeah, well, that's
there's a lot of hacks that affect the iPhone too. Don't get me wrong. There's one in
yeah.
particular where you'll get these people like sending you messages and stuff, and they can pretty much just take over your phone if you like pretty
Yeah,
much
well
open
that's
up the message or click the link or something like that. People can take over your phone.
well yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, phones are secure to a certain extent.
Yeah, there's always
I would
vulnerabilities.
told Yeah, I would totally get Android, but I like iPhone.
Yeah.
I'm not a Apple fanboy by no means, but I like iPhone.
Right.
The only thing that stopped me is because all my shit's on iPhone and shit. But
See, yeah,
you
that's
know,
I
I
ended
don't know.
up getting an Android, but mostly for development. As a developer,
Yeah,
I'd say Android's a better place to be because it's
of
cheaper
course. Yeah,
to
definitely. Like
to release and
Android's where it's at with like developing. If you're a developer, of course.
yeah,
You
it's
know
way cheaper like
that
just to release on
Yeah,
there.
it totally is way cheaper. Well, you don't have to go through Android to do shit really, right?
No, you can do like if you don't want to
It's
pay
open
Google,
source.
if you don't want to pay Google, you can go to third party app stores.
Yeah,
Uh,
but that's what I'm saying. It's open source Android,
Yeah, Android's on an open source system. Like not all of Android. There's
which
the parts that Google has made on it is not open source, but not like Android itself is an open source system. Um,
yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's a lot easier to hack on Android
yeah, and actually
than it is
Apple's
on
based
Apple.
on an open source platform too, which is BSD. But like most
But
of
it's
the
not
Apple code
totally
is
open
yeah,
based.
most of the Apple code's not all.
It's hard to jailbreak
Yeah, but that's the
Apple.
problem. It's called jailbreaking because you have to break out of their ecosystem. Because like
And the,
there's actually Androids now that don't let you do a lot of this stuff. There's a lot of
well,
Androids
yeah.
that still exist, but there's now Androids that are acting more like a walled garden where you're being locked into their ecosystems.
That's why PlayStation was so popular because you're able to jailbreak PlayStation and whatnot. The
Yeah.
PS3. My PS3 never got jailbroken, but I would
Well, that's what
love.
JTAG
Well, I
on the
got rid of my.
Xbox was. That was jailbreaking it.
Yeah,
JTAG.
I would love to get JTAG, but that shit's like not popular. I don't think you can find JTAG
No, there's no
anymore.
JTAGs for the Xbox One or the Series. There's like you
That
can
would be
before a patch on the
insane.
Series X though, you could put emulators on it.
What happened to that?
They patched it.
Just like Nintendo did.
Yeah.
See,
We're
I
getting
feel
a
like that's
lot of feedback
garbage.
from your heads from your
Oh,
headset.
I feel like that's bullshit.
Yeah,
I feel like
it's all
we
about
shouldn't.
copyright protection and some dumb shit like
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like Nintendo's big on that copyright shit also. Like
Right. For games
Nintendo
they're not even
copyrights.
re-releasing or anything. If they were
Well, that's what I'm
re-releasing those
saying.
games,
Like,
and
well, that's what I'm saying. Like, there was this someone made a game. I don't know if it was on Roblox or whatever. Donkey Kong or some shit. A fan or whatever, and it was for free. Like he wasn't getting paid no money.
right, there's plenty of that.
And was
There's
I think,
Pokemon games all the
and
time.
and that's what I'm saying. And Nintendo came in and fucking took it down.
Right.
Took it down.
Even the
Someone was gonna
original,
do.
even the original developers of Donkey Kong, which is Rare. Like they're now owned by Microsoft, but the company Rare, they
Hmm.
made the original Donkey Kong. They,
Yeah,
they
Nintendo took over.
yeah, they can't. Well, no, they Nintendo already owned it. They made Donkey Kong for Nintendo. Um,
Okay.
but like when they
Hmm.
left Nintendo and went to go make other games, they were no longer able to use any of those assets that they created. Not Nintendo. Nintendo didn't create it. Nintendo owned it, but they didn't create it. It's like the same idea as like when
With
Bungie left.
Activision,
When Bungie left Microsoft, if Bungie was able to keep Halo, then
Halo.
Halo, yeah, it's the same deal.
But that's
Halo
the
stayed
same
with
shit with
Microsoft.
Activision when Treyarch makes the Call of Duty games, but they don't have no rights to it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's
If Treyarch wasn't
Activision
with
is
Activision,
yeah, but Activision owns Call of Duty. But like,
yeah.
I feel like Nintendo is so about money, 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 money.
I mean, they're
They
less
want
about
money.
because look, the Xbox Live and the PlayStation Network. How much does that
I
cost a year?
yeah, yeah, I get that, but I'm saying like you're not allowed to make like a Mario replica for free, making no money
Right.
for free, and you can't make that because they don't want no one making their games. Like it's fucking dumb.
I
Like
mean, it's
it's
technically illegal for
stupid
you to
as
make a Halo replica.
yeah, but I don't think Microsoft will take it down if you're
They
making
probably
no
will.
money on it.
If you're making no money on it, like I don't know, it depends on how much it affects their. It depends on how much it affects the actual Halo game.
Now, okay, if you made a game, Itchy, like let's say you made a game,
Right.
and someone made an exact replica
I'd
of
be
a
pissed.
fan, just being a fan, you'd be pissed if they're making no money though. If they're making no money,
If I notice that it's taking money from me, and it's an exact replica of my game, I would first thing I would probably be like pissed, but like if it's really good, I had the money, like if I made quite a bit of money, I'd probably try to go see about getting that person on my team. If it's a really good game. But like honestly, it's like the same deal we were talking about with before about the whole copyright thing. Is that's what it is, it's copyright.
yeah, it's copyright.
It is.
Yeah, I see what you mean. I see what you mean. I don't know, like I don't know. It's that like that whole copyright system, like we talked about before, but whatever. It's really weird, bro. It's just weird as fuck.
Right.
Because like like some people like, oh, blah blah blah, and some people like, well, I should have my right to my shit, which you should if you made it or whatever. But like, I don't know, that whole entire system is fucking weird and whatnot.
Right. And it
With
really it
with
really is going to depend on how the game affects my game. If their game ends up making my game lose a lot of sales, like if my game's a single player game, I would probably be like, okay, after the first 6 months to a year, like if it's a game I plan on making more games for, then I'd be hella pissed about it. But if it's a game that's like I was only planning on making a one-off game anyway, and somebody makes their own spin-off of it, then I'd be like, okay, yeah, that's cool. I would prefer them not to be using the same name because I would probably copyright the name of it and all that. So if they were to be using the same name, I'd probably hit them with a strike on that. But I'd pretty much just be like, okay, this can be inspired by, or it can be pretty much like an unofficial continuation, but like it can't have the same name.
mm, I feel like if it's free, it's it's free, bro. I feel like the ball's in anyone's court if it's free. They're
No, because
making no
if
shit off
if
of
I
it.
if I made my game and put it onto an open source platform, or if I made my game and put it onto into the free like for anybody to use, which that I could publish it there, um, then that'd be perfectly fine. Then it's free for anybody to use. Then it's free for anybody to use. But if I copyright it, it's not.
So that's why Nintendo does the shit they do.
Yeah, but a lot of the thing is with a lot of their stuff is preservation. It's easier for them to go after the person who's developing a fan made game. And yeah, like having it free is definitely like, oh, it shouldn't be that big of a punishment, because some of these people they're like finding shit like shit tons of money, even though they made this game with like $0 and shit like that. They're finding them shit tons of money. Like, I think that's insane. I would pretty much just be like, if it's really good, I try to get the person on my team. Maybe we could release it and put it under my belt, but because it's my copyright, have the say of what to do with that IP.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. Like I said, that shit's weird as fuck sometimes. Like, that whole copyright system is fucking weird. Like, I
Right.
see, like, where everyone's coming from, but it's like, it's a fan, that made
Right.
a
And
Donkey Kong replica or whatever the
right,
fuck,
right.
and just was a fan and wanted to make it. Like, it was innocent as fuck and was for free. I can
Right.
understand if you were making money off it. Okay, you're like, no, that's no. But if they're a fan and they did it for free out of the enjoyment of making a game or whatever,
All they had to do is
I
just change
get
the name of it, and then it wouldn't have been a problem.
okay. Here's the thing. Everyone knows it's copyrighted.
Right.
Okay? And let's say someone did it on Roblox.
Right.
Because that's just the easier way to use that example. Someone did on Roblox a Donkey Kong replica of the Nintendo game.
Right. It
For
would get taken
free,
down.
making nope, it would get taken down. But for free, everything, whatever.
Yeah.
And yes, you have the right to take it down. But why, you could also see as this is a fan that enjoys my game. He's making no money off of it,
Right, but
and
because
he
they're
just
making no
made it
money,
out of fun.
because they're making no money off of it doesn't mean that you're not getting damages.
What do you mean by damage? Like damaging of their?
Not damaging necessarily of your brand, because it could, like, I'm assuming that it's a really good game, right? So if it's a really good game, then it could be damaging your profit margin by causing a downflow in purchases of your game. And because you own the IP, then the people going to play that game, even though it's free, even though the person that made that game isn't making any money off of it, is actually causing you to lose money.
Mm.
And that's why I say, like, I'm all for fan made games, but if it's a copyrighted name, they have to be mindful and change the name. Because I'm for like before on our previous podcast, I was talking about how I'm all for copyright limitation, but that has nothing. I'm not against copyright. I'm just for copyright limitation. I am for the limitation of copyright. I am for stuff eventually being put into the open source, not open, that's not open source, there's the word I'm talking about, but the Creative Commons. I'm for things going out into Creative Commons, which
Yeah.
this is exactly that. Like, if once like a certain time has passed, Donkey Kong should go into Creative Commons. Once a certain time has passed, Pokemon should go into Creative Commons. Mario should go into Creative Commons. You know?
Yeah, totally. But see, that was I'm saying, like that. Okay, but that Donkey Kong game is old as shit. I guarantee you, they're not making no money off that game anymore.
The old, yeah, of course. Except
See, okay, so if you're not making no money off that shit, and a
they're making,
fan is made out,
yeah, it's a harder.
but they're not making near as much.
Not nearly as
You know
much,
what I'm
no,
saying?
but it is part of a subscription service that they're on, and people like pay for it. And of course, not only a small percentage of the people paying for that service is playing that game, so it's probably like a fraction of a cent, right?
Yeah.
But there's still a lot of people playing it, and I don't think it's going to damage as much. Like I think obviously in that point of view it's a different argument, but like it's the same idea. Like if it was me, because you were saying if it was me, if it was a game I made, I'd imagine a game I made like be like 6 months ago or like 8 months ago. Like and that somebody makes a fan made game like 3 years down the line, that could be really damaging me. And when it comes to Nintendo, they're just really hard headed with that type of stuff. Like, I don't think a fan-made Pokemon game is going to damage any of the purchases of the official Pokemon games, unless people are really like, oh, the fan-made Pokemon games are just so much better than the official Pokemon games, which in some cases I might agree with. But I don't think, on their part, I think they're a big enough name that they wouldn't really be seeing any damages. But because it's copyright, they can still claim those damages.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, how do I put this? I would just see like it's an enjoyment of a fan. You know what I'm saying? It's a fan making your game.
Of course.
And I would see it as more like 10 years down the line, 15 years down the line. Nintendo is like what? Donkey Kong came out what, 1989 or some shit?
I think
like
so.
was in the yeah. So this game is old as shit. All right, this game is old as fuck. It's not nearly making as much money as it is. And it's a fan that's not derogatory in your game. As a fan that's making your game out of fun and celebrating, as you said, your game. And having enjoyment out of it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I feel like that's totally acceptable.
And you know what? Like, I don't completely disagree with you. I just also, on the copyright perspective,
like, I don't know. I feel like we all know it's copyrighted. Yeah. We all know. But why enforce it that much? Why? You know what I'm saying? If it's not derogatory in your game, why enforce it?
Because Nintendo's going to milk every single dime.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to get at. With Activision, with Nintendo, with Microsoft, EA, they will milk the shit out of that. They will it's like, you know how like squeezing a shirt, water comes out?
Right.
They will squeeze that shit until there's nothing left.
Right.
And that's what Nintendo's doing. Nintendo knows it's copyright. Everyone in the world that knows Nintendo knows it's copyrighted. Everybody knows. But the game's old. People love playing it.
Right.
Why enforce it so much?
Of course.
Now, like you said, if it's 3 years down the line, okay. I'm talking about 30 years or whatever.
Yeah.
Where there's nothing left.
You asking me, because as a developer myself, you know, like anything I'd make wouldn't be nearly as long as a fucking Donkey Kong game would go. So like, I'd be really personally affected by something like that as a small like indie developer, right?
But I'm saying like if you like 30 years, I don't know how long it's been Donkey Kong, like 30, 40.
It was 81, so
40 years.
Around.
So 80 to 90 is 10, 90 to 2000 is 20, 2000 to 2010 is 30, 2010 to 2021 is like 41. So 41 years.
Right.
41. There's no more squeeze out of that game. It's dry.
Yeah, just fractions
but people
of a
still
cent every single month.
Yeah, but people still play it because they enjoy it. You get what I'm saying? People have ROMs for it, the whole stuff. People, pirate it, everything. Okay. But what's the big deal of people, 4 years down the line enjoying your game? When it's making no more money.
Yeah, and I definitely agree with you on the side where it's like it's an old game. Somebody wants to make it, they can make it. Downside is it's not in the Creative Commons. Downside, it's not in the Creative Commons, so that's still illegal.
Yeah.
If Nintendo wasn't such a prick, then I'm sure it wouldn't be such a big deal, because there's definitely stuff that are copyrighted. People do make and don't get in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Like, keep in mind.
That's what I'm saying. Keep talking. My bad for
Like the
interrupting.
original Family Guy Star Wars episodes. Those weren't. They didn't even ask permission when they first made it. Obviously, they got permission after the fact because, of course, like being on Fox and stuff, they're like, oh, we have to get permission. But they made the episodes. They didn't get
Uh-huh.
permission. They did it
Yeah.
anyway.
But Star Wars realized they're not making fun of us.
Right.
They're celebrating us.
Right.
It's kind of like a joke or whatever the fuck. And that's what I'm saying. I think Simpsons did the exact same shit with Star Wars or whatever the fuck.
Right.
Or some form or whatever. But that's what I'm saying. Nintendo, like you said, the copyright is there, but how much of a dick or a prick or bitch or asshole you're gonna be and enforce these copyrights
Right.
and look at the bigger picture as these are fans, they enjoy my shit. Let me lay off a little bit. Even though yes, it's copyright and I get to do whatever the fuck I want, how much money am I really losing?
And that's the real
If I'm a
question: is how
billion,
much money. If you can decide whether that you're not losing that much money, then I would say that there's no point in going after it. But if you're really
as long as
protective,
it's free,
right,
as long as it's free. If you're making money, I'm always I would be on company side. But
right,
if it's free and they're making not a dime off of it, and you're not that much of a dick and asshole and bitch about your copyright shit,
right,
who cares? You know what I'm saying? Look, but Nintendo doesn't want to do that. Nintendo doesn't like to look at the picture. Nintendo wants to milk every point of Donkey Kong and Nintendo and Mario out of the fucking guts of their games.
right.
Even though it's dry, they're not getting nothing out of it.
Well, Mario's obviously not dry shit.
Well, Mario's not dry, but I'm saying like they're still trying to milk Mario.
Right,
But see, but Donkey Kong, you know, these I'm talking about old Mario's and old Donkey
yeah,
Kongs
yeah.
and old Sonic
Well,
games, whatever.
if you talking about that, because if you've ever played like Mario Maker, right? They use the old Mario's. They use the old Mario styles and stuff like that. And they let people
Yeah,
make their own maps. Obviously, you're not making your whole like Mario story. Actually, you can. You can make a whole story pretty much with it.
yeah.
But yeah,
So, like I said, it's confusing. It's weird. It's kind of whatever thing, and that's what you have to deal with these, big time companies and shit
right,
and whatnot. I don't know. I'm not a developer, but after like rethinking our conversation with, you know, uh, copyright and whatnot, and,
right.
and now I
Kind
feel like
kind of turned the switch
it.
on you, right?
Yeah, I feel like yeah, a little bit. I feel like if I made something big, I don't know, I wouldn't like. It's not making as much money, and I got fans and whatever, and they're making it, out of celebrating my shit or whatever the fuck. I feel like I shouldn't. I feel like I wouldn't be too hard. Like I feel like it's whatever, you know.
Right.
My real shit's there. Everyone knows my real shit and whatnot, so it's kind of like a whatever type thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, can people copyright voices?
What do you mean?
Like, okay, like what's it called? Like voice, like like Family Guy.
Like Peter's voice?
Yeah, like Peter voice. Like, let's say you use Peter's voice and whatnot. Because some people do that on YouTube. Like they use gameplay or whatever, and they
I
talk
don't
in
think
Peter's voice.
I don't think you can exactly copyright a voice. Um,
Uh-huh.
you can copyright likeness.
What do you mean likeness?
Meaning like this like character looks exactly like, sounds exactly like all at the same. But you can't copyright the individual aspects. Like if you have a character that looks like Peter Griffin, but isn't named Peter Griffin, isn't exactly like Peter Griffin, doesn't play the same exact type of role as Peter Griffin, then it's fine.
Yeah,
Um,
but that's what I'm saying. Like, and people do this on YouTube where they troll or whatever the fuck, but they use like different voices. I I forget.
Right, right.
You know who
And
Azers is? I think
yeah,
Azers,
I
right?
know what you're talking about.
Yeah, he's the he. I think he actually's he plays a black dude. I think in Family Guy or something. I forget. Um, what's the black dude's name again?
Cleveland.
In Family Guy. Cleveland Brown. He plays Cleveland Brown because the dude that played him before was white, and he
Right,
stepped down because when the whole shit happened with racism, Black Lives Matter, and the whole shit,
right,
they gave it to Azers, and now he's making big money being Cleveland Brown and whatnot.
right.
Which I think, everyone was like, okay, cool, like, people respected him for that, but it's like, can you if someone does your voice and puts it on YouTube and does jokes about it, and whatever, and make money, can you copyright that?
Um, I like it depends on if they're literally doing the same exact lines, because you can extend creativity. Like if you extend the media, then it's perfectly fine. Like
Hmm.
I forget what it's called, but it's like you're adding more to the art that already exists, right?
Creativity,
Yeah.
yeah.
You're adding more
And,
to it.
and that's what I'm
Which
saying. But he doesn't just do Cleveland. He does Barack
yeah,
Obama. He
I know
does
exactly what you're talking about.
Donald Trump. Like he's
Yeah.
funny as fuck. Like he's funny as shit. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, can you like? I don't think you can copyright that because he's not doing lines. He's putting more creativity into this character than
Right,
really
and obviously
than
the
actually.
characters, like not Barack Obama, like Barack Obama's like himself, but like obviously these
But
characters themselves are copyrighted, right? But it's
yeah,
okay to use copyrighted materials as long as you're extending it. You're not leaning solely on work that has already been done.
yeah,
He's not literally copying the
saying
exact
line from
phrase
line.
line for line. That
Yeah,
would be illegal. But what he's doing is extending it. He's using the voice,
yeah,
he's playing the character, but he's adding on to it by making completely new form of art out of it.
of
Making
yeah. Hello.
hello?
Okay, I lost you for a second, but yeah, like you said, like that's acceptable to me.
Right.
I feel like that's acceptable, but I don't know, like, if you did a Mario voice impression, can Nintendo like, oh,
They might.
demonetize,
They might.
copyright?
They might.
I feel like that's
Even if
bullshit.
it's an illegitimate copyright, they might.
It, see, now that's what I'm saying. Nintendo's a bitch. They're assholes. Even though they make beautiful games, they make glorious, great games, but they're
Right.
assholes. They
Because I mean,
enforce the copyright way too much.
even in a technicality, like it's games companies can make it illegal for you to stream their game. But they
Yeah, which
wouldn't. They
Nintendo, I
wouldn't.
think,
They wouldn't do it. Nintendo did for a while, but they stopped.
yeah, yeah,
It was getting too much in their way. Because game companies, they look at it. They're like, oh no, this is free advertisement.
of course. That's why it's free advertisement.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But
And
technically,
it
if they
would,
wanted
it,
to, they can put the
they,
hammer
they,
right down
they,
on you.
yeah, anyone could do that. EA, Activision,
Yeah.
Nintendo, Microsoft, anyone can do that. But they're not gonna do that because it's dumb as shit.
See, I would say it's a different thing because
See,
there's these storybook games, right? Like not really like a book, but like the game is literally like there's only one way to play it, and you're gonna get the same thing every single playthrough. I'd say games like that probably not beneficial for the developer for people to play through to do a playthrough because the viewers of a Twitch stream or people watching it on YouTube, they would see exactly how the game plays out, and there would be nothing different if they ever play it. Like the only thing different would be for them to actually push the buttons, which with games like that, like some people call them walking simulators because you're just walking through a story pretty much.
hmm yeah, and I don't.
That wouldn't be beneficial on the developer side for people to stream that
And why you say that?
because there's no like okay, so something like Call of Duty, somebody streams a game like Call of Duty, like, okay, so the campaign, yeah, you're giving away the campaign, but that doesn't mean like that person played through it and they got killed like 7 billion times. You could go play through it and get killed once or twice or not at all. And then you go to the multiplayer side of it, and that's like a whole different, like when we talk about replayability, it's extremely replayable because you get different experiences like almost every single time. Except I know
But
mostly
it's limited replayability.
it's limited replayability, but it's also like it's even more replayable by default than a walking simulator, because a walking simulator, you have one story, you walk through the game, and it's just telling you a story. There's no variation whatsoever. There's no way you can fuck it up. You just walk through the game, and once you're at the end of it, you know everything.
See, now, what I like about some developers is in campaigns, they sometimes let you choose how you make about this campaign.
Right.
I think, what was that PlayStation game that came out that was, that had Asian shit? I think it was Japanese or whatever the fuck.
Ghost of Tsushima?
It was Ghost of Tsushima. I never played it because on PlayStation, PlayStation's bitches. I heard that was a round of applause. Like, I heard that was
I've heard good. I haven't played it myself. I've heard really good stuff about it.
I heard that was a really good game, and I heard like they made it where you can make the campaign your own story. Now I don't know if you would call that limited replayability or just replayability.
I don't know, because I don't know everything about the game.
No, but I'm saying like when games do that, where you're able to make the story your own. Like I think Red Dead 2, I think was that too, where you're able to make the story your own to a certain extent. But when games do that, is that limited replayability still, or just replayability?
Well, if there's okay, so you can make the campaign your own. Like, I don't know exactly what it means by that. Like, is there an unlimited amount of endings? Is there just an unlimited amount of ways to go through the game? Like, what causes it?
Okay, so I would say on some games you can pick and choose your ending.
So if there's a limited number of endings, then there's a limited playthrough replayability. But if there's like
some games don't do that.
Yeah,
some games like you can pick only two options.
Right.
You either do this or you either do that. So some people play it twice, do the one option, and then play a game and do the other option. That's limited replayability, I would put. But if you're able to make the campaign into whatever you want it to make it into,
like what is it? Like certain people stay alive at the end of the game. Like
you can pick and choose who to stay alive.
Okay, there's a lot of games like that. Not so much in AAA maybe, but there's a lot of games like that.
Probably on PC, but I don't know. On consoles, I don't really see that a lot.
Right.
I see sometimes where there's two options, maybe three. But I feel like some developers should make video games where you're able to make the campaign to your own. So let's say I play the campaign and I get a different experience. You play the campaign, you get a different experience. That dude gets a different experience. The other dude, 10 people can play and got 10 different experiences.
Right. And I'm saying, okay, so if you would consider Minecraft as having a campaign, which I'd say now, ever since the end update came out like a long ass time ago, there is a campaign. You once you beat the Ender Dragon, that's the end of the game, because you get rolling credits and stuff. So there's an unlimited ways of doing that. That has an unlimited playthrough experience when it comes to campaigns.
There's just you have to kill the zombie, not the zombie, the dragon. That's
it's the same ending. It's the same, but like the location, there's an unlimited form of maps. So there's an unlimited.
Yeah, which I said before, Minecraft is very community based.
Yeah, because adding mods to it, of course, is going to. because not all mods are like crazy mods, but adding mods to a game
Yeah.
will increase its replay value even for like its campaign. Like if you add mods to Minecraft, not to make it crazy where you're like having insane abilities and stuff, but like just adding like realistic stuff to the game. Not realistic like real life, but realistic to the world of Minecraft. Like adding new forms of armor, new
You're
forms of weapons, and stuff
yeah,
like that.
you're getting away from the vanilla.
Yeah,
That's the thing. You're getting away from the vanilla, which y- there's
or
the
vanilla like
word
mods. If as long as you're
yeah
staying
vanilla.
vanilla
Well,
like.
that's what I'm saying. Like it's very these games are very not just Minecraft, but these games are very vanilla. There's no extent to it, really. Even though yes, there's DLC and the DLC can when you get DLC, there's no vanilla. But the only game that I can see besides Minecraft that gets away from the vanilla aspect is World of Warcraft.
There's only two endings for Ghost of Tsushima.
Really? There's only two?
There's only two
Okay, well
endings.
fuck. Okay. But the only two games I don't know about Destiny, but the only two games that get away from the vanilla aspect is Minecraft and World of Warcraft.
Well, when you're talking about vanilla, because like vanilla means the game with no mods, and what World of Warcraft would consider vanilla is the non DLCs. Because like
Yes.
if you were to go
But
to Call of Duty, you could say like Call of Duty without any of the map packs is vanilla, and then you add the map packs, it's not
yeah,
vanilla.
but
Or
you
if you
get the
add
map
mods,
packs for free,
no,
so it's
yeah,
like
yeah. It's I mean it's still like would you still consider that vanilla because like they're all free updates and stuff like that.
yeah,
Blah.
it's so like I don't know, like I consider like, from hmm, from Black Ops 3 on. No, from Black Ops 4. No, from Black Ops 3 on, vanilla is not a thing because there's paid DLC and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Which there's paid DLC in Modern Warfare and Cold War or whatever, but it's still vanilla
Because there's no
to a certain
mods.
extent.
Like
There's no mods.
it's
But
all
I'm
the
saying like
DLC's free and
well, the maps are okay.
yeah.
Let's keep that clear. The maps, but you can buy different blueprints and whatnot. Which I guess you say that's a different. There's no vanilla, but like
Yeah, that's all cosmetic
I
only.
was, yeah, but I still consider that vanilla. I
Yeah.
consider Modern Warfare very vanilla-ish,
Well,
even though
if
yes,
you
there's
went
DLC.
like I would say like a game like Cold War or like Modern Warfare, if you were to talk about like true vanilla for those games, I would consider the game before any of the crazy camos in the crazy tracer rounds and like before all
Yeah,
that, that's what I would be considering
that
vanilla because that's what the game like originally was supposed to look like. But when they started adding all that
yeah.
shit, it's becoming less vanilla. Like even though it's not adding any functionality, it's all looks and stuff. Like it really takes the immersion away from the game because when the game first comes out, I noticed this with CODs ever since they started adding crazy ass like camos and stuff. Um,
It's
when the game
like
first comes
Black
out,
Ops 2, I think.
yeah, when the game first comes out, it's like really like immersive, like you can feel yourself in the world and stuff. But once they start adding that crazy shit, it's like, oh, like that's crazy. Like there's camos like that don't make any sense for the world and stuff, like for the universe and like
Well, well, yeah, but that's the creativity of these
yeah, yeah, and
games
that's
now. It's
that's pulling away from vanilla, like it like because like
well,
Cold War,
yeah, like, but that's what I'm saying. The Cold War Cold War has those crazy camos. Modern Warfare was the first game that came out since shit Black Ops 2 that didn't have crazy camos.
right?
That didn't have the moving camos and shit. You get what I'm saying? Now they're back to in Cold War with the crazy camos and whatnot.
Right.
And I feel like the crazy camos make the game pop.
Yeah, it makes
You
it
get what I'm
pop, but
saying?
it takes away like if you like
Yes, and
the realistic
immersiveness
look,
of
the realistic look. Yeah,
yeah, which I feel like Call of Duty in a certain extent needs to get away from advertising the realistic look.
Yeah, I mean they do it when the game first comes out. When the game first comes
Of
out,
course.
they keep up with
Yeah,
that. But then a couple months down
but
the
they
line, it's all out the
a
window.
month,
Well, yeah,
a
now like a
month.
month. It used to be like a couple months, so they just cut it down even
Yeah,
shorter.
and that's what I'm saying. Like, I think Call of Ghosts didn't have very crazy camos. I don't think at all. Like, or where they were alive and shit, and they moved.
Well, if you look at Infinity Ward, they don't really do the live camos as much until they got to Infinite Warfare.
Black Ops 3 had live camos.
I'm talking about Infinity Ward, not Treyarch.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Infinity Ward.
They don't really do the live camos as much.
Yeah, I think Infinity Warfare had live camos though. I
Yeah,
think for sure
yeah,
they
but they
did.
didn't even
And
that game wasn't even realistic from the get go. So
yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know. I feel like Call of Duty, you know, needs to get away from advertising. This is a Cold War game, and we're gonna blah blah blah. You know what I'm saying? And then a month later, well, we're taking back what we said from the get
they
go.
don't really like. I'm fine with it being like, but that's what I would consider
Yeah,
vanilla. Like the game's no longer
yeah.
vanilla once they take away from it.
Yeah, I agree with that too. The game's no longer vanilla once they take that away, but I still really kind of consider Modern Warfare and Core really vanilla-ish.
Because you can't mod it.
No, because there's DLC blueprints and whatnot, but
I would still, because like those blueprints, all that is just cosmetic items added
yeah,
to
that's
it.
what I'm saying. Like, it's not like Black Ops 3 and Black Ops 2 and Modern Warfare 3 where if you didn't have that DLC, like
Right.
maps, whatever, it will be completely vanilla. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Like in Call of Ghosts. If you didn't have the camos, whatever, you had the in-game camos or you didn't buy whatever, it would be completely vanilla. That's what I'm saying. From
Right.
Modern Warfare to Cold War, games or I don't know, no, Black Ops 4 would no. But Modern Warfare from Cold War is very vanilla-ish to me. Besides buying blueprints and
Because
whatnot.
all the DLC maps are free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And and I don't know. There's a really way to say stuff about this because like I don't know, GTA's the vanilla goes out the window with GTA, but I don't know. I don't know. There's a real iffy way how to put this and because like yeah, there's a really iffy way. I don't know how to put it in a way or whatever that makes sense, but like I don't know, if you have an edge over someone, that has the vanilla version, is that considered an edge
Are you talking
over
about
that
like with the
person?
blueprints?
Yeah.
What edge do you have?
Now, here's the thing. Some people think that having these blueprints and Modern Warfare and Cold or whatever, the damage goes down. Even though it doesn't seem like it, because it doesn't. But there's some people that believe that it's a smudge. It's a tiny smudge
All it is.
of
Okay, so all it is you get special cosmetics for attachments and a special
no,
cosmetic for a gun. The attachments
Yeah.
have like either damage reducing, damage increasing range. Like the
Yeah.
attachments themselves affect the statistics of the gun. So the blueprint itself is just
Totally.
giving you a gun with a specific cosmetic and a specific cosmetic for the attachments that's on the gun. So really,
Totally.
like
Yeah.
I would consider that like not vanilla because those attachments don't have the vanilla aesthetic. Those attachments don't have
Yeah. Aesthetic.
but it's the
Totally.
same.
I agree with
it
that.
doesn't affect anything with damage or anything with range. And if it's a sight that like because sometimes I would consider a cosmetic for a sight to be a big deal because if you look at sights, having slightly different looking sights in a game like that is a huge deal because sometimes like if you have the ring around it and that ring is a little bit thicker, then you have a worse field of view outside of the sight. And if the actual like dot that's in the sight is like not looking right, or like or if the iron sights, there's guns that have on those.
That's why I said. That's what I was gonna say. Like the iron sights on some of the guns change on the
Yeah.
blueprints.
Yep. And
which give you an advantage or disadvantage
yeah,
in a
an
way.
advantage or a disadvantage. So that's the aspect of it that I would say um, isn't really
But
vanilla. Like,
some people think, I'm not, I don't know about me, but some people think that Activision or whatever secretly makes these blueprints damage higher in a certain extent.
well, if you're using all the attachments on it the way it is, then
No,
yeah.
well, yeah, I'm saying, but like, even while using the attachments, like,
Without using the
okay,
attachments,
no, okay, listen. If you're using a blueprint gun and you put your attachments on it, okay,
right?
but I'm saying you use the same exact attachments without a blueprint gun and use a blueprint gun with the same exact attachments and you put them together, the blueprint gun will overthrow it.
Okay, so the only
Like
way we
be
can
be,
prove
be
this, the only way we can prove this is by scientifically testing it. You
That's what
have
I'm
you have a
saying.
lot of these blueprints, right? Because I have some blueprints, but I haven't really bought into the battle pass for a while.
Well,
Um,
in Cold War you can't semi-automatic. In Modern
so
Warfare you can.
yeah,
So
that
it's gonna be
like
harder to like,
I'm
get the
not worried about.
exact.
We can record it and get the number of shots like by slowing it down and stuff like that. Um, like we can get some of your gameplay and get that. We can do these tests. If you really are you on the side of thinking that it
Well,
actually affects it? Do you think it actually affects it?
I don't
Because
know. I just know
I don't.
Activision's pretty. Well, I just know Activision's pretty scummy about this shit. So I really don't know what to believe. I want to believe not true, but something like in my head is saying, I don't know,
Do you
man.
want to verify this information? Do you want to verify this or no? Do you really want to find out, or are you just going to be speculating this whole time? Are you content with just speculating, or do you want to actually verify your thoughts?
Well, I don't know. Well, that's this whole same thing with uh, supposedly in Cold or whatever, the assist goes out the window, or like if you're doing good one game, the next game like your damage goes down to make it scripted or whatever the fuck. Like that. That's the same exact way.
I don't see that. Like I disagree with that right there. I agree that they have skill based matchmaking, and I agree that
Yeah.
that you'll be put into lobbies that perhaps have a slightly worse connection for you, but I don't think they're messing with your damage. I think that's bullshit. I think they might be
I definitely
messing
feel
with your
like I feel
connection.
like they fuck with your. I feel like they fuck with the assist though, because I seen right. I aim, and my assist is like all over the fucking place sometimes.
Your aim
I
assist?
never had that with my yeah my aim assist. I never really had that in Modern Warfare, but in Cold War I really seen. I've definitely seen that in Cold War for surely. Where like,
I've noticed having it drag a little bit more over. But like
but
I
I
feel it's a
heard
lot
that
my
was
fault too.
I was I heard it was in Black Ops 2 though for sure. I heard it started in Black Ops 2, but it
What
wasn't as prominent as it is like in Cold. And where like where you shoot at someone and your assist goes all over the place. You know what I'm saying? Where like sometimes your assist, you aim and you see your like the assist is pushing you
Right.
away from the person
And
instead of
that one's
locking you on.
that one's really hard to verify. Um, but like the other one
Hmm.
with what you say with the damage and stuff, we can verify that. We can verify
Yeah, we
that, and
could.
I think that's bullshit. What you said with like, oh, they actually mess with the damage. I think that's complete bullshit. And the best way we can test it is by taking the blueprint and taking the original gun and taking all the attachments off, putting the same attachments on the original gun that are on the blueprint, and then putting whatever attachments you feel that you normally do with that gun without the blueprint, and that like
Hmm.
that's a way we can test that.
I feel like we should do that. Not like now, but I feel like we should do that one day. Like get on Modern Warfare, and we get the same gun. I use it. We use the same attachments and stuff.
Right.
I use a blueprint. You use the blueprint, and you don't, or you use a blueprint. I don't, or whatever the fuck.
Right.
And we test and see if like that conspiracy theory is actually true, or whatever the fuck.
Right. And I
which
disagree. I think it's not. You might think it is.
I think it's not also, but I have something in my head saying
Is nudging
don't.
you. It's like,
It's like don't just put it under the water, or put it on the rug. You know what I'm saying?
right, right.
Because I just know Activision's scummy. They're very scummy. And I feel like they would do some shit like that to make it where it's pay to win.
Right.
Some people still think Cold War and Modern Warfare is pay to win, even though there's no pay to win aspect of it. But some people have that
Well, I would definitely
thing where
think affecting sites, affecting camos that like having camos that are effective and stuff like that. Like having stuff that'll play against like cosmetically will play against people because those do exist. Having specific camos make it harder for people to see people. Having specific sites might make it easier for somebody to aim. I'd say those type of cosmetic things, albeit not exactly being pay to win, might give somebody a benefit just from having a slightly different cosmetic look to a gun or to their camo. They might have a benefit of being able to hide against the background a little bit better. They might have a benefit of being able to see somebody better in their sight. I'd say those are benefits, but I don't think damage. I don't think there's any of that going on. I don't think they're messing with damage like that.
the only thing I've noticed was the iron sights.
The iron sights
That's
is the
the
biggest
only
notice,
thing.
yeah.
That's the only thing I've noticed, which you really can't say, well, you have a better advantage because you have a better iron sight than me. Which it depends on the person then in that point, because I feel like an iron sight's an iron sight. You know what I'm saying?
Right, and if it's clearer, it's obviously better because there's like if they make the iron sight way bigger and way clearer to see the actual like parts of the iron sight that you want to be able to see through, and it's easier to see that and you can clearly see like the point. Whereas a gun with like smaller iron sights might be really difficult to see where the actual point is. You know, like that could be that's what I could say. But I think we're getting towards the end of this podcast tonight.
Yeah, I feel like also. So, we're gonna call it at
Yeah.
that. I don't even know how long you've been going on for. I know it's been like, what, an hour?
Including the part we have to cut out is about an hour 54 minutes. But that's
Really?
including like the 17 something minutes we have to cut out.
Okay, so anyway, but we're gonna call it at that. Do you have anything else to say before we leave, Itchy? You know,
No, I'm about ready to
have
go to
any?
bed.
All right. So we're gonna call it that.
Yeah.
My Control Freaks thing is supposed to come out soon. I don't know when, but
Yeah, I'm
I'll keep
lacking
you
on the editing.
I'll keep you updated with that or whatever. But I don't know, but I'll keep you all updated. But yeah, peace out, Girl Scout.
Peace out.